Attorney Tom, but before we begin, before we start taking phone calls, is there anything that you want the people to know? Anything you want to tell the folks of Geck Nation before we begin? Anything at all?
Yes, very standard lawyer Gecko protocol. I'm not your lawyer, and you are calling. Please do not tell us anything that you should consult with a lawyer operating in their professional capacity.
Yes.
You are calling to talk to two geckos who are on the air with presumably thousands of people watching.
Yes.
So be mindful.
Yes. This is for entertainment purposes only. Don't say anything that could get you in a lot of trouble.
Exactly.
Let's begin. Hello, Jacob.
Yes, hello.
How are you? You're on the phone with
I'm good.
Lyle and Attorney Tom.
Oh, holy shit. I'm freaking out a little bit right now. Hello, hi.
How you doing, Jacob? Jacob, how's Kansas?
Kansas is cold, flat, and boring. I'm more of a Colorado person myself, but I live in Kansas, unfortunately.
Jacob, we heard that you used to have a job dressing up as the Grinch, and you're with fellow green men. This is a safe place, and we'd love to hear your story.
Oh, yeah. So, every year, so I should preface, I do cosplay. So one of my cosplays that I decided to do many years ago when I was in high school was I'd get this prosthetic and I would paint myself green and just do impressions of the Grinch. Someone found it on social media from the city of Manhattan. Oh, shoot. I just doxed myself. Anyways, ignore that.
Manhattan,
and so
Kansas.
They saw me and they were like, yes, Manhattan, Kansas. Not New York, but Manhattan, Kansas.
Continue.
Yeah, absolutely. So I get hired every year to do the Grinch for the city because they found me online. And they were like, well, you do a really good impersonation of him. Would you like to come to our Christmas festival that we do every year after Thanksgiving? And so I've been doing this for the past 5 years. And then last year actually, I was not invited back this year, but due to what happened. But I got caught smoking a joint in my car by a mom and daughter who were trying to find me for a photo. The cops were called, and they come to find me in just a smoked-filled car, high as fuck. And I was like, now this was after the Christmas festival. This was after.
Who's the real Grinch in this situation? I think it's the Karen who called the cops on you.
Yeah, right. Why did she?
Yeah,
Why did she call the cops on you, man? She just found you in the car. Were you? Was it? That's such a classic.
Did you get arrested in full Grinch gear?
So they brought me down to the station, but they did not arrest me. They gave me a warning. But the funny thing was, the officers were thinking it was the funniest shit. They were laughing. I was high as fuck. I was tripping balls.
I could see how the officers thought that was funny.
Do you think that being high makes you a better Grinch? Do you feel like as you're tripping you can get more in touch with the zaniness of his character?
Oh, absolutely.
Or do you feel like it fucks you up?
See, I think I'm the. Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say, I think the police department missed a real opportunity for social media. They could have said "Hey, we arrested the Grinch."
Right. They caught you stealing Christmas presents or something.
I'm sure that
we arrested the Grinch in parentheses for smoking marijuana,
but we still got him.
You're right. I could have totally just gone with that, been like, hey, you know what, this would be really good for social media. But I think at the moment I was too panicked. I've had a clean record for so long. I was terrified of what was going to happen to me. I was like, oh no, they're going to send me to prison. And I'm just like, Now, I'm a very nervous white man, and I'm freaked out. I'm for no reason.
You know, I'm gonna say, of all the like stories we've heard tonight, where I'm like, where people will be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm, you know, I know it was bad that it happened, but it was worth the story." I think this is the one.
I think that was worth the story.
That was very worth the story.
I think those cops will tell that story forever.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be interesting because I got invited to a Christmas party to do the Grinch, not by the city of Manhattan, but there's a lot of city workers there, so it'll be very interesting to see how that goes down.
Tell me about some of your other cosplays.
Oh God. So are you guys familiar with like Doctor Who or like anything like that?
Tom and I were just talking. Tom actually last night.
Who's your favorite Doctor?
Showed me a clip of Doctor Who. I've never seen it, but Tom is a fan.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I used to dress up as the 11th Doctor, and I would do like events in Kansas City. There was like the Renaissance Festival, the Time Traveler's Ball, so I'd get hired out to all these things. Like I was getting paid to do what I loved, so it was.
Is the 11th Doctor the one who always wears the bow tie?
Yeah, he's like bow ties are cool and wears a fez and it's Geronimo and all that fun stuff. It's been about 6 years since I've done it though.
Right on. So Doctor Who and who else?
So I've done Newt Scamander from Fantastic Beasts. I'm actually currently 3D printing a Mandalorian costume to visit children's hospitals.
That's nice.
Yeah. But I think one of the most popular one is obviously the Grinch. I actually will film videos as the Grinch for TikTok, and there's a video out there of me pole dancing as the Grinch to Santa Baby, and it has to be by far my favorite cosplay.
All right, normally I'm like whatever about self promo on here, but I'm happy to have you drop your TikTok handle right now if you wish.
Yeah, it's just Jackbucks, JACBUX.
Jackbucks, JACBUX. All right, I'm gonna check out this Grinch cosplay.
Oh God. Well, don't hate it. It's a very
no. You know, the intentionally cringy cosplay TikToks. I like them. There's something hypnotizing about them.
Yeah.
So you're in. This is a safe space for that.
Yeah. Can I tell you guys one last time I was in trouble?
Sure. What is it? How long will it take you to tell it?
Not longer than 2 minutes.
What do you think, Tom?
Can you do it in 15 seconds?
Can you do it in 15 seconds?
15 seconds. Okay, so 21st birthday, I get taken out by two friends. They abandon me. I do 32 shots, wake up in the hospital with a felony.
Whew.
That was under 10 seconds.
That was great. See,
well,
that
not
was
a
concise.
Sorry,
First of all, what?
Not a felony.
Okay. Well, that's good because I mean, was it like why were you? What were you charged with? I mean, obviously you were clearly too intoxicated. I'm glad you're alive. 36 shots is very dangerous by a magnitude of 1,000,000. Was it just like public intoxication, or what was the deal? You don't even remember.
Public intoxication, and I jumped on a police car.
Who were you dressed as then?
I was dressed as myself, just a very skinny 21-year-old kid in Kansas.
Well, Jacob, man, look, we hope you stay out of trouble, and we wish you good luck in your cosplaying adventures.
I appreciate it. Thank you. You guys have a great rest of your night. I've been listening to the podcast for forever now. You guys are amazing. Lyle, I fucking love you. And Tom, keep doing that law shit.
Thank you, Jacob.
Have a good rest of the night, Jacob. Thank you for the kind words. Raven?
Yes, hello.
How are you, Raven?
I'm doing well. I would ask how you are, but you're a gecko on the computer.
What does that mean?
I just feel like 90% of the time I've heard you answer that question, you answer with "I'm a gecko on the computer." I just know the bit now.
You can ask how Tom is feeling.
Yeah.
How are you feeling, Attorney Tom?
Well, I'm a gecko on the computer.
That's a good joke. I like that.
It wasn't a joke.
Well, I mean,
It's true. There's nothing inherently funny about that because it's just the truth. You are a gecko
I am
on the computer.
existing on the computer.
How can we help you?
Yeah, I think
Raven?
that's the whole. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, have I ever been in trouble? I'm a retired drug dealer, and I've done a good job of avoiding trouble. But I've been in lots of situations that I could have been in trouble, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And my first piece of advice for anyone that finds themselves in trouble or like doing trouble would be break one law at a time. If you're going to break the law, like don't break the law, but if you're going to, break one law at a time, because that has served me very well.
What?
Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah. So like if you're going to be driving around with, say, illegal substances in your car, make sure that your license and registration is valid and that you drive the speed limit. Because like that's how like traffic stops aren't like the purpose of traffic stops isn't really to like keep the streets safe. Like to some extent it is, but like a lot of it is to catch people that have like warrants or, you know, that are doing illegal things. So if you don't like give people a reason to like suspect you of anything, then, you know, you're probably okay. Like no one else knows that you have something illegal in your car. Does that make sense?
Oh, I know. I mean, you're getting into the whole probable cause, reasonable suspicion, Fourth Amendment kind of deal. You know.
Right. Yeah.
Get it.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, like, don't ever admit to anything. Like, if you like get caught, like, just lawyer up and don't say anything, and you might not be fine, but like your chances are a lot better.
Everybody listening, he's exactly right. This is true, and they're gonna want an apology. They're gonna say, "Aren't you gonna feel so much better if you apologize? Just admit now. We'll go easy on you." That's a lie. That's all a lie.
It's always a lie. It's always a
any
lie.
cops talking to you don't have the power to cut you a deal. It's the DAs who have the power to cut you a deal. So like if a cop comes up to you and says, "Hey, admit now, we'll go easy on you." Well, they're not the ones in charge of who to go easy on. So, the only correct response to any sort of police questioning is, "I want my lawyer." I invoke the Fifth Amendment. Fifth Amendment.
Yes.
Did you ever?
Yes,
What was the closest you ever came to getting caught?
Okay, so the closest I ever came to getting caught, for anything very serious, I was attempting to traffic a large amount of cannabis across a state border, and we actually missed our pickup, but we had like there was a lot of indications that that's exactly what we were doing. Like we had very large sums of cash. Like we got $10,000 seized by the police. A drug dog hit on it, supposedly, even though, I mean, it had never come into contact this far.
Okay.
Yeah, we did get the money back. So we fought that. We got the money back. And then we had like a personal amount of cannabis with us. But they actually didn't even like do anything about that. Because it was just a personal amount, and it was like in.
So you got caught pre-pickup, whereas had you allegedly exchanged the.
Oh, Tom, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
So you got caught pre-pickup. So had you been caught after you allegedly would have exchanged that money for an alleged amount of drugs,
Yes.
you would have been caught with a large amount of drugs, and it would have been bad. But instead, they just pulled you over
and
with a
that
bunch
story
of cash.
is actually. Yes, and the story is actually a little more interesting because we tried to pick up. It was someone we had never met. We drove hundreds of miles. The deal was too good to be true, and it turned out to be a cartel, and they were not trying to sell us cannabis. And we almost got killed and we got away. It was my best friend and I in college. They were going to force us to buy something that a harder substance that we were not interested in buying. We met the contact for them at a college party, and we did not know this guy. He just hooked us up with these people. The deal was too good to be true. We drove across multiple states to get there, and then it was not a good deal. So we escaped that, and then ended up dealing with the police later.
Interesting. Well,
So
I think
it would have been post.
people...
It should have been post pickup.
Well, I'm glad that it worked out for you. Allegedly, maybe this is all just one big story.
Yes, allegedly.
We don't know. Yeah, allegedly. I'm glad that worked out. I think it's very important for anybody in the chat who might be listening. When you go across state lines, you are committing potentially the same offense multiple times in multiple different states.
Is that how that works?
Oh yeah. So if you're not only trafficking in one state, you're potentially trafficking in however many states you're in, and on top of that, because you cross state lines, it could go into federal jurisdiction because you're commercing between the states, and getting prosecuted for criminal drug trafficking by the federal government is not something you want to do. You always want to try to keep it in state court if possible. I mean, ideally, you don't want to get caught, but I'm just saying if you have to choose to be prosecuted by somebody, you'd much rather be prosecuted by the state governments than the federal government. So you're playing on thin ice, allegedly, according to your story.
Yeah.
You're on thin ice.
So the guy that I normally got picked up for, this is actually the reason I left this specific college. The guy that I normally picked up actually did get busted by the DEA. Because this was all long before cannabis was because I'm 29, so it was before cannabis was starting to become legal. I think California had medical, and that was about it. And so I left because he got busted by the DEA, and they had pictures of everyone, but they only took down the people on top, so that was convenient for me. But then for the next 10 years, every time I saw police lights, or there was one time I woke up and there was federal marshals on my lawn because the guy that lived in the apartment next door, I guess, was running from the police. So yeah, it just don't get in trouble, because even if you stay out of trouble, you're still always watching your back, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so that
the
goes
people
to
in the chat,
yeah, that goes to what we were talking about earlier, risk versus reward.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like it's just a huge risk that is always lingering over you for what? I mean, a couple $1,000, allegedly.
Yeah. Allegedly, yeah. So I have
Raven,
a regular job now.
Okay, that's exactly what I was going to say, because the call screener mentioned that you have a regular job. Talk to us about your regular job real quick.
So I'm an HVAC technician, which also, by the way, shout out to you, Geck, because in one of your early streams, you gave HVAC technicians, AC guys, very high praise.
I did. I remember exactly what you're talking about. A guy called in saying he was going to go to trade school to be an HVAC technician.
Yes.
I'm that's a great idea, because you come out of there knowing how to do something.
Yeah, and I appreciated that, because, when you watch, let's say, adult entertainment, it's always the plumber and never the HVAC guy. And no one really cares about the HVAC guy, but we have a hard job, and it's always hot because everywhere you go, there's no AC. But it's good work. It's honest work, So
well, listen, Raven.
And the money
if you ever start a campaign for more representation of HVAC guys in porn, Attorney Tom and I have our support.
I sincerely appreciate that. I have had one instance where an older lady, we went to go collect after fixing her air conditioner, and she was completely naked in her bed, and so it was very much like a porn scene type situation. And she was probably trying to get a discount on our bill, and we were not interested in that because we're very hot and sweaty and just wanted to go home to our families. But yeah, so it's happened once in real life, a potential situation. So I feel like maybe we need some representation on the hub. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, we know what you're saying. We know what you're saying, Raven. Thank you so much for calling and sharing with us. And I wish you the best of luck moving forward.
Thank you, Geck, and thank you, Attorney Tom. It was great talking to you all.
All right.
All right. Have a good night.
I mean, if you think about it, it makes sense, the whole HVAC porn thing. Because, look, if your HVAC is actually out,
yeah,
the last thing you're going to want to do is have intercourse in, like, a hot house.
Yeah.
So it's not like, if you're a porn star and you get called over because the HVAC's not working, they're going to say, like, okay, you need to fix the HVAC. I mean, it just logistically makes sense. I mean, if there's plumbing issues, that's not like immediately urgent.
Raven, I take back what I said. Tom, you're actually making a really good point as to why you would not want to have sex in a house that does not have proper air conditioning.
Yeah.
Raven, I'm glad to hear though that he was able to find a regular gig. Sounds like he got extremely fucking lucky.
He got extremely lucky. I mean, that whole deal blowing up was probably the best thing for him.
Yeah.
He brought some very interesting legal issues. As he put it, only break one law at a time. However, just to go further on that, it is often the case that people get charged for things that they weren't initially caught or pulled over for. For instance, you have the outdated registration, you get pulled over. They roll up to the window, they notice, a bottle or a bag or something, and then boom, you're arrested for something completely different than the reason you were pulled over. So he has some validity to his advice. I will have to give him props for that.
Steven, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm here with Attorney Tom, and how can we help you?
Well, basically today, it's... I don't want to look at chat. I'm sorry. It's just really bad.
No. You don't have to look at chat. Only chat's going on is between you and me and Attorney Tom.
Exactly. So, I'm a part of, the LGBT community.
Word.
And our movie theater, it's called Cineplex. We have a thing where it's Toonie Tuesdays. So they show old reruns of movies. It's usually Star Wars and stuff, but they were airing The Notebook, and me and my boyfriend, we love Ryan Gosling. So, we don't really know the whole plot of the movie, but it's so embarrassing. We just got really, I got really turned on, and I asked him to start jerking me off. And he did. And apparently there were complaints, and the staff came in and kicked us out. And
you asked him to start jerking you off in the middle of The Notebook. And was it because
we were we were holding hands and stuff, and he had his he put his hand on my thigh, and then I just asked, I just asked him to take it to the next level, and he did.
And what was it? Was it Ryan Gosling that made you so?
Honestly, once you started touching me, the movie we just stopped watching. But yes, initially it was Ryan Gosling.
Interesting. And now, is this? Let me ask you: is this a thing? Is this a thing for you of sexual excitement, like the fact that it's a sort of quasi in public thing? Does that add to the to the experience for you?
Yeah, we're so bad. We like public humiliation. We do this thing at we have this theme park called Canada's Wonderland, and we go in there and we wear diapers. And when we wait in line, we drink a bunch of fluids and we just piss ourselves, and we just think we're so bad.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Can I talk to your boyfriend? Is he with you?
Yeah, for sure. Isaac. Yeah. Therapy Geck. You already know he's on. I know Therapy Gecko. Yeah. How are you doing, sir?
How are you doing, Isaac?
I'm good myself. What would you like?
So Isaac, so how did you what was your initial reaction when your boyfriend asked you to jerk him off in the middle of The Notebook? Were you into it immediately, or was he or did you have some apprehensions about it beforehand?
No. My boyfriend asked me to do something. I do it for him. He's my lover.
That's beautiful.
Well, thank you.
Dance straight.
Tom, what do you have to say about all this?
After y'all were
Excuse me?
caught, you were just after y'all were caught, y'all were just asked to leave.
Yeah.
Really, nothing more than that.
Well, there was a little bit of struggling because, we were trying to fight it off because, it's kind of awkward. Some people just coming up to us and, have my hands on my lover's penis. It's rock hard. Ryan Gosling's on the screen, and we can't help ourselves when we see that sexy Ryan Gosling.
Tell them about our court. How we went to court.
Oh, our court date. So it was.
So you did. So there was more.
It was a little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, so all right, so you didn't just get kicked out; they pressed charges.
You got a
against you.
ticket.
We did get a ticket, yes.
There was a young family there.
At the bottom. They were at the bottom, though. He made sure everyone was not near us.
We booked our tickets in advance, so we got the back. seat.
We did get the back seats.
What? Tell your boyfriend. Look, your boyfriend could just come.
Hold
You
on.
guys can be on speaker and just both talk.
What? Let's talk about what happened at court.
Well, we can't afford an attorney, so we had a free one for us.
Public
And
defender.
the judge was actually really nice. Like, we're young. I'm 18.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Yeah.
We were about
And
to
they were
get
going to charge
real.
at the time I was 17 because my birthday was in August. Lady, Scorpio, Leo. But what's your Scorpio sign, by the way?
My what?
Your astrology. Your astrology. I'm so glad you put down.
Hey, Lyle. As
Yeah.
funny as this is, think
You don't think we should take this?
no.
Okay. Steven, good luck to you guys in the future. And you both have a wonderful rest of the day.
You're not going to help us?
No. We don't have lessons.
Jesus Christ.
I just want. It's very important that they're both
over 18
over
at the time
18
of this situation.
at the
Yes.
time of.
Yes, I fully agree with that sentiment.
But you don't want to. They clearly like the embarrassment thing.
Look, if you look, here's the thing: is it, and I think this is a popular sentiment. I think people, if you can, whatever you derive pleasure from in life, as long as you can do it without, negatively affecting the people around you, go for it. The question is, did they negatively affect the people around them?
I would argue
doing it in
yes.
person? I would also argue yes.
Yeah.
So, maybe I feel like, look, if you can find a way to, feel shame pissing your pants at home, dude, make a live stream where you're pissing your pants in a diaper, like on the internet, and then that way everyone who wants to be a part of that can then join, and then you're not, inconveniencing the people who do not wish to take part in your embarrassment.
Yes.
Okay, let's move on. Hello?
Hello. Hey, can you hear me?
How be ya?
I'm doing pretty all right, Got good work done today. Sort of a long day, so it's been nice to relax a little bit. But I called in because I wanted to ask Attorney Tom, what is the kind of like the statute of limitations on like maybe food tampering might be what this is considered, or I wouldn't say poisoning necessarily, but
yeah. So the short answer is it's going to depend. It's going to depend on the state, and it's going to depend on what the charge that is brought against you is, because every charge is going to potentially have a different statute of limitations. And so, food tampering, you're probably in the realm of like assault, because you're literally, like, even though you're not punching somebody, you're changing somebody's food, they digest it, that's harmful to their body. You're probably looking at some form of assault, criminal misconduct, or mischief. There's probably like a bazillion other charges. So it's just going to depend. So I don't know.
For sure.
Without knowing the state you're in, and without knowing what exactly the prosecutor would charge, and there's no way to know that, it's just going to depend, which is why the famous saying for all lawyers is, it depends.
Right. Well, luckily, I'm calling about someone who isn't me. Swim,
Sure.
if you will.
Sure.
It's a story, or a story, yeah. Yeah, allegedly. I got you.
Sure.
So, back in my someone else's college days, they were in a fraternity, and then when they were a pledge, this particular fraternity's idea of hazing was just like hitting people and boarding them in between like rafters of a wall and stuff. So this person got tired of things like that real quick, and the school was like 60 to 70% in the Greek system. And I'm going to wrap up the context as quickly as I can. But the same week that this person left, the fraternity was also reported for hazing. So they kind of lost all of their friends right at the same time, felt pretty depressed. So they decided to do a dumb thing. This fraternity's house was right up against the woods. And before big parties, they would make up their jungle juice in these huge 20 to 30 gallon containers. And they'd put this container in the laundry room, which had a window to the outside. So the night before the biggest party, this person may have waited overnight, got real late, and just pissed in all of the stuff that these people were going to be drinking before probably the largest party of the year. Maybe 200, 300 people. So just to be clear, this person feels guilty about it much later. But
sure.
But so what does something like that look like?
Yeah. Well, so I'm assuming that obviously this person was never caught and that everybody consumed this jungle juice.
That is exactly correct.
Yeah. That's probably some form of assault.
300 counts.
Yeah, 300 counts.
Jesus.
Allegedly.
Allegedly,
of course.
Yeah. The good news is, I would argue that probably 99% of the people who drank your pee probably don't know that they drank your pee to this day. So sometimes ignorance is bliss.
Exactly right. That, and if dodgeball taught me anything, it's that urine is sterile.
So I'm wondering. Nobody said anything. Nobody complained. So
well, I think that says more about the jungle juice than it does his piss. I mean,
probably so.
I mean that's just like they literally grab like whatever the hell they can find.
I mean, look, for all we know, they pissed in it before you did.
That is true, honestly, considering the way these guys acted.
And so did. And this person, were they at the party?
No, they did not attend the party. They promptly drove home for the weekend.
Okay. And you never heard anything.
And did this person ever tell anybody about this?
Not until the night of that same party the following year.
Interesting. Well, it just from
no one who remained at the school at that point, though.
Well, a lot of people, a lot of people would never get caught if they just kept their mouth shut. You see a lot of criminals who get caught just because they need the urge to tell their story. I'm not saying that this going to happen here. I was more referring to like, you telling somebody at the school a year later. That was a pretty dangerous move.
None of the people that were informed of this were still there. They were long gone and happy to be gone.
And then also, you got to worry about proof. Really the only thing you could get caught for at that point is, this person's testimony. Because there would be no like actual evidence. So the only thing the person could shoot himself in the foot by just admitting to it. But I mean, other than that,
that's true.
The proof is there.
Right.
Very interesting.
Well,
right.
What did you say your name was? Anonymous. Well, Annan. Well, Annan. Annan, actually, before we go, Annan, Annan, this person, they've expressed guilt over this. Is there anything you think they've done moving forward in their lives that, as an attempt of rectification, either rectification towards the parties involved, or maybe even more so a general rectification of adding good into the universe to balance out the bad they feel they have added?
Oh, definitely. And that started by working on their own depressed feelings, right? Like you've got to kind of work through your own shit before you can start helping other people fix theirs. And, they've definitely done their best to be there for people and just continue to do stuff like therapy, right? It's a big deal. But this was more than 10 years ago. So this person has changed nearly entirely.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for sharing, Ann, and you have a good rest of the night.
You too, Gecko. You too, Attorney Time. See you guys later.
See ya. Very interesting.
Let me ask, if someone came to you and you were like, Tom, I drink piss and I want to sue the person, would you take that case?
Almost certainly not. Yeah, it's uncomfortable. And so I would certainly not want anybody to drink piss, but civil lawsuits where you sue over money are only quantifiable on money damages. And, what is somebody mistakenly drinking piss worth? I would argue that, it's going to be, I don't know. And keep in mind, it's not just straight piss. It's piss mixed with, a bunch of alcohol. I would argue, it's probably not enough money-wise to justify a lawyer getting involved. Because, these cases take hundreds and hundreds of hours and years to mature. And I'm not going to go take a case for, insignificant amount of money.
You can drink your own piss 3 times, and it's like totally fine.
You said 3 times?
Apparently 3.
What happens to the 4th?
I don't know what happens after the 4th time. I've never drank my piss 4 times.
Okay.
But,
well, honestly, like that jungle juice, I'm not justifying this story, but like, I promise you, they did not taste a thing. Like,
I bet they did.
Jungle juice at college frat parties is like, they buy 5 different types of alcohol, like the bottom of the barrel, shitty plastic, fits of it, and they just pour it all in together.
Well, I bet that in his story, right, he was saying like there was like barrels of it, right?
Yeah.
I bet that, there's no way he produced like an equal amount of piss where it was like, it could have only been at minimum half piss. So, each cup of jungle juice probably contained what percentage of that cup was pee? Like less than probably 1%.
Less than 1%.
Cynthia, is that you?
Hello. Yes, this
How
is
are
me.
you, Cynthia? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
We're hanging out. What's going on with you, Cynthia?
So, I actually have a funny story to say. It kind of could have gotten me in trouble, but with a little bit of lying, it didn't.
Now, before we continue, if this story gets exposed to the public, is there any chance of you eventually getting caught, or has enough time passed where you're not worried about it?
Enough time has definitely passed.
Okay, let's hear it.
So, I actually had a boyfriend that he was like my high school sweetheart, whatever, and he just made me crazy. Like he just, I don't know how to explain it, but we were broken up for a little, and I found out that he was like, just like kind of messing with me. Like he wasn't really like taking me serious anymore. So I went with one of my friends and I spray painted his car. And I also put sand in his gas tank. And
where did you get sand?
I live in Florida.
You don't just have sand lying around.
If she lives in Florida,
we went to the beach. And got sand.
Okay. All right.
So tell me about. Let's go into the spray paint. Was there any particular shapes or message that you wrote on?
Yeah. There was actually hearts and smiley faces and
just cute.
Pretty much everything that would point to me.
And let me just be clear, you were not his girlfriend at the time?
So we were dating for like 4 or 5 years, and we had taken like a break, and we were, like still talking every other day, but we weren't boyfriend and girlfriend like officially at the time because we were like broken up. So
and what was the straw that broke the camel's back?
So we had just like, hung out the day before, and then this girl calls me and she tells me, "Why are you hanging out with my man?" And I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Okay, girl, this has been my man for like 4 years." And I was like really angry, but it was a scary type of angry, and I didn't know how else to handle that anger, so I just kind of lashed out.
How long between getting that phone call and you spray painting and putting sand in their gas tank did that happen? Was that like you got that call and you immediately started, or did you think about it for a couple of days?
No, I instantly did it like that same night.
And you didn't even ask him for any clarification, because it seems like a pretty random phone call to get. You didn't do any sort of investigation or get any sort of follow-up information before spray painting the car? I definitely
did. I had a fake Instagram, so I was following her and him on the fake Instagram. And then I saw that she had posted a picture with him, and I was like, "What in the world?" And then I called him, and he told me that he's just like some HOE, that he's just banging whatever. And I'm like, how does she know that I called you? Like, there's no way that that's just what she is.
Okay, so do you remember what type of car it was?
Yeah, but I probably shouldn't say it.
Okay, that's fine.
It was a really nice car, and it was expensive.
Okay, like how expensive are we talking about? Give me a price range.
Maybe I should say it. I don't care. Enough time has passed, and
what's enough time?
Like 8-9 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what the statute of limitations is, but I feel like, it's
probably enough time.
Again, I'm not your lawyer. This isn't legal advice. You're willing to do this, but if you wanna divulge to the world what kind of car it was.
So I won't say. Okay, I'll say it. It was an Audi, and It was a really nice car. But so I ended up going with my friend and he helped me spray paint the car. And we were like wearing all black. No one can see us. We covered his like license plate and everything, and I spray painted his car, and we ended up leaving. And then
how did it feel? Did it feel good to spray paint his car?
Well, I'm not even worried about the spray paint. I'm more worried about the sand in the gas tank. I mean, that's gonna ruin the engine.
Dangerous.
It did get ruined. And I felt so bad because, listen, I've done a lot of growing, and I'm a different person now. But I'm kind of feeling a little guilty still because he thinks that I didn't do it to this day.
Oh, he doesn't know you did.
And
what does he?
So okay. So the next morning, I wake up to a voicemail from the sheriff's office saying, we just have some questions for you. You were listed as the primary suspect in your ex's, vandalization of his car. And I was like, oh my God, something's gonna happen to me. But I was like, I used the excuse that I don't even have a car, so how would I even get there?
You made a mistake. I know you got away. For anybody in the chat who's listening, the correct answer when the police call you, Lyle, can you guess?
Say I need to talk to a lawyer first.
I will not talk to you without my lawyer.
Yeah.
That is the only acceptable response, even if you're innocent, especially if you're innocent. I will not talk to you. I will not answer any questions without my lawyer. But so continue. So you spoke to the police and you told them that you just didn't have a car. So that was your excuse.
And you were your own lawyer in that moment.
I was I was 17 at the time, and my mom was next to me, and she's like, well, you have to call them back. You can't just leave them wondering. And so I called them back, and I was like, hey, I received a voicemail.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay. So you weren't near him or the car ever since this and this day. And I was like, yeah, I haven't seen him since then. I don't have a car, so it's like, how would I even be able to do that? And ever since then, like, he just never pursued anything after that.
But that doesn't mean he doesn't think. I still think he thinks it was you.
Well, yeah, he listed you as the primary suspect.
It's pretty obvious.
Why would he, of course he thinks it's you.
On the day you confronted him about having another girl, he thinks it. When was the last time you spoke to him? In the last 8 years, have you seen him around town?
We've been on and off ever since then. We've been on and off ever since then. And on top of that,
when was the last time you saw him? 4 days ago.
About a month ago, I saw him, but I talked to him 4 days ago on the phone.
And to this day, he still doesn't know.
Nope.
He totally knows.
He knows.
Are you together?
No,
with him?
he definitely.
Are you together? Like, are you on right now? Or are you off?
No, we're not. No, we're off. We've been off. I want to say for a year. He just randomly calls me sometimes, and he'll ask me hey, how are you doing? Do you want to go get food? Do you want to go?
Would you ever tell him that it was you?
No. Oh my goodness, no. I would never.
How do you think he would react? I mean, he already knows, but how do you think he would react to you admitting it? Do you guys have a kid together?
I think that he would be upset.
That's what I
and
thought
he
I
would
was
never
hearing in the
talk to me
background just
again.
now. I'm sorry, say that again?
Huh?
He said you'd never talk to him again. He would never talk to him again.
No, he would never talk to me again.
Did you ever think that you had it in you, that amount of rage to go and destroy someone's car? And have you ever felt that feeling since?
No. I think I learned from that because the guilt is just too much for me, so I don't think I would ever do that again. I can't ever do something like that again. I can't let my anger get to me, at least. So.
Well, Cynthia, thank you for sharing. Is there anything else you want to say before we go?
No, that's it. Thank you, guys.
Have a good rest of the night, Cynthia.
You too. Bye.
There's no way that guy doesn't think that Cynthia was the one who did it. I mean,
who the fuck else?
You get confronted about having another woman in your life, and then that night, your car gets destroyed.
Yeah. I don't...
And mind you, the spray paint's not the worst part. It's the sand in the engine.
Yeah.
The guy knows. The guy knows.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting that he's still, calling her every now and then. And sounds like they've dated since.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that she said that he would never talk to her again if he knew. I mean, he how would that be the one thing?
And I feel like that's just not healthy. Like, if you have a secret that you can't tell somebody, I feel like that relationship just needs to end. Like there's no good outcome of that relationship.
Right. Well,
I hope Cynthia finds peace.
I hope they both find peace. I hope that they don't have to go out and maybe maybe it would fix the relationship if she let him spray paint her car
and put sand in the gas. That's just an expensive equalizer,
Yeah. I don't believe that an eye for an eye.
Yeah,
is the right way to go.
Well, I also don't believe for a second that he knows. He's got to know.
Alex from Montana. No, I've never been. I've never been to Montana. I don't know if I ever will go to Montana.
I've heard Montana is extremely beautiful.
It is. You should go.
I've heard nothing about Montana ever.
Nothing?
I haven't heard it. Nobody's ever told me a single thing about Montana.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you want
I've
me
never
to tell
talked to.
something
You're the
about
first
Montana?
person in my entire life I think I've ever talked to about Montana.
Yeah, tell us about Montana. We want to know. I'm curious.
Montana has a population of just over 1 million people. 30% of the state is public wilderness property. And
how does that make you feel?
That it's public property.
Yes.
How does that make me feel? It makes me feel good. It means that I can, whenever I want, I can wake up and I can go drive and I can walk around in nature and experience nature.
Alex, have you ever been in trouble?
Yeah.
What happened?
I crashed my car into another person's car, and then kind of did like a subsequent kind of like run from the police.
So
a
hit
hit
and
and
run.
run, I guess.
Okay.
Did you get caught?
Not by the police. I got in trouble with my family, but the police did not catch me.
You mentioned in the call screener mentioned in the notes that you were like doing some drifting in a gravel parking lot to impress some girls.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And did you impress them?
It was me and a friend of mine. Did we impress them? Well, in a roundabout way, I ended up, I got some girls' phone numbers, and I think actually one girl did want to give me her phone number because she had seen me drifting and crash into the other girl, and so I guess in a weird way I might have impressed them. I don't know, maybe it's not quite like impressing.
So you crashed and went to the other girls, so they know who you are.
Yeah. We exchanged like contact information.
Right, you would have had to exchange information.
So why I don't understand why you're not running from the police at this point. Then I mean, why were the police even there?
Well,
Yeah. So what happened was it was like a music venue, and there was a gravel parking lot outside, and me and my friend decided that we wanted to drift around to impress girls. And so we were drifting, and another car with 2 girls in it saw us drifting and wanted to join in. And so they started drifting as well. And both of our cars drifted into each other. And so that's where it's kind of like, it was like iffy about whose fault it was. And we were both like accusing each other of like, it's your fault. And so we were like pretty upset. And so her car was pretty damaged, dented in on the side, but mine was pretty much fine. And so what happened was someone from the music venue called the police because there had been a wreck. But me and the girl, neither of us wanted anything to do with the police because I think she was high or something, and I had substances in my car that I didn't want getting, involved in kind of like a legal trouble. So we both agreed to kind of try and limit the amount of trouble that we would get in. And so I left, and I found out later that she left as well. We both left the scene, and then the police came looking for both of us, I guess. But we were driving around the city. It's a pretty small city, but trying to just avoid police trying to find us to find out what had happened because this venue had called about a wreck.
So you got the girl's phone number. Important question, do you guys still keep in contact?
No.
It didn't work out?
Ultimately, I ended up... No, it didn't work out. No,
Because here's the thing, is if you're going to begin a relationship or a courtship on the foundation of her primary interest in you being your ability to drift, I mean, how far can that really go?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think, there's like a famous film series called like Fast and Furious, and they drift in those movies. And, they have the memes about family being everything. And I think they have a really deep relationship. And I think in some way you could say that stems from drifting. And so I'd argue that I think you could form a strong bond out of a love of drifting. Even if you're both bad enough to drift into each other, I think you can come out of that with some kind of an interesting.
That's almost poetic. They drifted into each other.
Oh man! All right, I think about everything I said. I'm on your side. Well, Alex.
Yeah.
Alex, I hope that your dating life continues to go well and that you stay out of trouble.
Yeah. I actually I have a wonderful girlfriend, so dating life is going well. And
does she even know that you can drift? Have you drifted in front of her before?
No. Well,
or are you saving that?
Do you want to know a funny story about drifting and my current girlfriend?
How long will it take you to tell it?
I can do it in 15 seconds.
All right, do it.
Okay. The first time I ever drove her in my car to go back to my house, I was pulling on to my driveway and I hit some black ice and the car drifted into a fence post and the entire front of my car exploded everywhere. So it was like an involuntary drifting with my the first time I ever drove with her in my car. So
25 seconds,
That's not bad.
terrible.
Not bad.
Terrible. Well, thank you so much for calling, Alex. You have a good rest of the night.
Yeah, you too. Thanks.
I don't fuck with car. I've never been like a car guy or like let me do something cool in my car.
No, neither am
like
I. I don't care.
Let me have a cool. I've never wanted like a cool car.
To me, cars are just to get to point A to point B.
Yes, exactly.
I don't care.
I'll take I will drive the shittiest fucking car, as long as it works. Like if it's like aesthetically shitty, I don't care. If it can play music and it's safe.
See, I don't really care about the brand or to me, it's all about safety.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm a personal injury lawyer. I see some shit. I will never not drive an SUV.
Yeah.
Every car that I will own for the rest of my real life will be an SUV. You've been in my car. It's an SUV.
Yeah.
It's intentional. I will not drive small cars. I will never drive small cars, no.
Should I get rid of my sedan? Should I get a bigger...
If you have the option, you should always have an SUV.
Really? Why is that?
because other people are going to have bigger cars than you.
Yeah.
And it's just
Would you ever get like a big van?
Yeah, I'd get a big van. I just wouldn't get a small car.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'd love to live in a city where I could just walk everywhere. I hate cars. Like,
I hate cars too.
I fucking hate cars.
I hate cars. Yeah, absolutely.
The most, like, when you're going through your day, when you're going through your daily life, like, that's the most dangerous situation you're in every fucking day.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And plus, look, when you're taking the subway, you can get as drunk as you want.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? Yeah. But in a car, it's very bad.
It's very bad.
Tristan from Arizona.
Yo, dude.
How are you doing, Tristan?
It's about damn time, dude. Took forever.
Beautiful. Tristan, I'm here with Attorney Tom. We're talking to people on the phone. Is there anything in particular that anything? I know we have the topic. I think at this point we're kind of chilling. Is there anything in particular you wanted to talk about, Tristan? Anything at all?
Yeah, it was just like, so. Do you know who Slipknot is?
What is it?
Slipknot?
Do you know who Slipknot? Yeah, Slipknot.
Yeah, like the band.
Yeah, dude. So they were here in Arizona a couple weeks ago, and I helped start the big old bonfire that was going on and shit. And that stopped the concert for like a couple, probably 30 minutes or so. And that shit was crazy, man. Like that shit got out of control. That shit got hella big, dude.
The bonfire?
Yeah, man. It kind of got scary for a second. I was like, fuck. We just kept throwing lawn chairs and that shit. It was kind of crazy, man. Fucking COVID, dude.
What? Okay, I'm
COVID's real.
You have COVID right now?
Yeah, man. Sorry, man. God damn it.
How recently were you at this concert?
Do you think you got COVID at this concert?
I think I did get it at the concert. I think, dude, because it was a Thursday or something like that, Wednesday or some shit, and then a couple days later, I started feeling pretty bad over the weekend, man.
Wait, so
whatever it was, I don't remember.
So it was yesterday?
No, not yesterday, dude. It was a few weeks ago now, but I think
all right.
The lingering effects, man. That's what it is.
So you were doing this giant fire.
Yeah.
Did anything go wrong? Did anyone get hurt?
No one got hurt, but they had stopped the concert and shit like that. And then the next day or the same night, fucking Phoenix Fire wanted to do an investigation. Do it as a little bonfire. Calm the fuck down, dude. Go and put out a house fire, dude. Calm down. It was us getting crazy with the bonfire.
You said it was out of control and you were scared. It doesn't sound like
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't out of control, dude.
That is,
it kind of got big, yeah, but it wasn't life. Nah.
Well, so tell me about them stopping the concert. How quickly did they stop the concert? Because I'm genuinely curious about this.
They stopped it I don't know. They were playing one song and then they just stopped the whole show until they got the fire under control.
Okay, all right. So it was a big enough deal that they had to stop the concert.
I would argue that they were acting as
a
reasonable venue and or band. I think anybody.
I agree.
I mean it would be drastically irresponsible for them to continue the show while a present danger presents itself.
I agree with that.
No.
And you were the one that started the fire.
No, I didn't start it, dude. I helped build it up because we started throwing lawn chairs and shit.
Whose lawn
chairs?
I
got the cheap ass tickets and stuff. Yeah, little cheap ass lawn chairs.
Right.
And they just chairs? Oh no! We're allowed to bring them into the venue because it's 'Cause there's like
So you
seating,
brought
and there's like
you
there's
took
like a little
your
lawn.
own lawn chairs that you brought into the venue and you willingly threw them on the fire.
Yeah, dude,
As
I
like
got
a
from Walmart for
sacrifice.
like $20. Yeah, I got from Walmart for like $20, dude.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, dude. Damn, you got a cute ass voice though.
Thank you very much. That's very nice of you to say.
You do
yeah,
have a cute
man.
voice.
I think you have a cute voice. I think you have a cute voice, Tristan. I think we all have pretty cute voices.
Yeah, I know I do, dude. I know.
So the fire department did an investigation.
No, they wanted to. I saw that on Twitter, dude. I was like, what the hell for? Like, calm down. Like, no one got hurt. No one got burned alive. This is no damn WWE match and shit. Like, calm down. But it was like big enough to like to stop the fire. Like it was big enough to stop the show. I mean, and like it was just kind of ridiculous.
I mean, I would argue that any fire at a show probably warrants the show stopping.
It's called a control burn, bro. Just like they do in Arizona with the forest fires, stuff like that. It's a control burn.
Okay, you're not going to win this argument about a bonfire created by concert goers being considered a controlled burn.
Yeah, but we're white, man. So like, come on.
I don't know what that means, but look,
Yeah.
Tristan.
Yo.
Tristan, look, the fire investigation department. You know, I mean, if you're a department that investigates fires, and there's a fire,
yeah,
I think it would make sense to go investigate that shit.
And also, the whole controlled burn thing is definitely not true.
Yeah.
I think this was probably fit under the category of an uncontrolled burn.
I suppose they just like kept rushing like the support staff and like the security area, the security with the fire extinguishers. I thought it was kind of funny though. Just that we just like rush into the scene and shit.
Well, Tristan,
And like people still kept like
got hurt at this concert.
Oh no, of course, dude.
I hope that you recover from your coronavirus, and I
Yeah, me
appreciate
too,
your
man.
time. Thank you.
It ain't no joke. It's just real. Hey, I love you, Floppy. I'll still support you. I'll still sub to you. Okay.
Have a good night, Tristan.
Hey, you too, man.
Some questionable comments by Tristan there.
Definitely a solid handful of questionable comments. I mean, look, if you're a guy sitting at a desk at the fire department, and someone texts you like, "Hey, there's a fire."
Yeah. I mean, and he started out his story saying he was scared.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the
Exactly.
fire was clearly not a controlled fire. Any fire that is set off by concert goers warrants the show being stopped immediately. And I'm proud of Slipknot for seeing that and stopping the show immediately. Props to them and the venue. That is how crowd control should be done.
True. Nothing's more punk rock than safety.
Exactly.
Call from
Cadville.
Chad, hello.
Hello.
How are you, Chad?
Oh my God, no way.
Way. Total way.
Dude, this is amazing.
What are you up to, Chad?
It's Cadville, but yeah.
Oh, Cadville.
Yeah.
What's going on with you, Cadville?
Oh man, I don't even know where to start. There's so much I want to tell you.
Interesting. You said there's so much you wanted to tell me. Okay. Well, let's start with something, anything, at all, in particular.
Well, what I really want to talk to you about is a relationship that I'm having issues with.
And why are you having issues in that relationship?
Well, to be honest, it's this girl. Well, she's my fiance. And we've been actually
engaged for about 3 years now. And I really am not sure whether or not I want to continue a relationship with her for a number of different reasons. One being she has mental issues, and I know it's hard to deal with, and I don't blame her for her issues that she has. She's had a very difficult life, and I don't want to put any of her stuff on blast. It's not my story to tell.
Mm-hmm.
But she it's gone to the point where we've been homeless on and off for about pretty much our whole engagement. And I wasn't always the best to her. I did a lot of fucked up things. I honestly probably caused more psychological trauma to her. And I really do love her, but it's gotten to the point where we have lived basically out of hotels basically throughout the whole pandemic, on and off. She would get us kicked out because of her behavior, and she'll be hospitalized and get help for a while, and they'll medicate her, and when she's stable they'll release her to me, but she won't want to continue the medication, and she won't listen to their diagnosis, and she basically doesn't want to continue seeking the help. And it's just gotten to the point where it's like I've lost a lot financially, and a lot of like job opportunities, and I've basically changed my whole life around for this girl. Mm-hmm. And I really do love her, and I don't want anything to happen to her, but I don't think she understands where I'm coming from, everything that I've sacrificed, and I know she sacrificed a lot too. And I just don't know what to do at this point. I do love her, and I want her to get better, and I want to have a life with her, but I don't know if I can do it right now. And the thing is that she has suicidal tendencies, and she doesn't have any family. I'm the only person that she knows. She basically moved out cross country from North Carolina here to California to be with me, and gave up a lot, and I don't want to abandon her, and I do want to have a future with her, but it's gotten really difficult, and right now I just want to focus on myself and get myself to a better position, mm-hmm. so that I can provide her with a better life. But I don't think I can do that.
You said, hold on really quickly, by the way, because you just said, I'm trying to get a sense of where your head is at, because you just said that, did you say that you do want to have a future with her, or you don't?
I do, but I'm not sure we want the same things, and I'm not sure if we can have a future, because
well, because I want to say something. I mean, because you just said just now that you want to do better for yourself so that you can do better for her. Is that correct? Is that what you said?
Yes.
All right. I mean, it sounds like, and from your words, you've told me that you feel like you have caused her harm, you say, and that she has caused you harm. And really, from a lot of what you described, it doesn't sound like this is super sustainable. I mean, I'd like to see you do better for yourself simply so that you can do better for yourself, not so much with her in mind. Because, you know, your whole thing of, well, I don't want to abandon her because she came all the way out. I mean, that's very tough, but, you know, if you don't feel like you're helping her, then I don't see a reason for you two to continue being together. I mean, nothing that you've really said to me so far has given me any indication that you two should continue to see each other. I mean, it seems like you two have, like, your own problems that you need to work out on your own, and it sounds like being with each other is making them worse. But I don't know. I'm only making assumptions based off of what you're telling me. But what do you think about those assumptions I've just made?
And to be honest, you're right. You know, like and I've explained my situation to a lot of people, even in more in depth. You know, like I said, I haven't been.
And what do those people tell you when you explain your situation to them?
You know, they kind of basically tell me about the same thing. You know, like that I should probably focus on myself, and you know.
Okay, so
and I do want to improve myself for me. It's not just for her, because you know, like.
So you've expressed your situation to me. You've expressed it to, it sounds like, a bunch of people, and they've all told you that you should, it sounds like, step away and improve yourself. And then what do you think about that?
No, and they're right. And like I said, I've honestly have felt that way since the beginning of our relationship. To be honest, I even told her that I wasn't really seeking a relationship.
So then what?
At the beginning.
So then, what do you feel like is stopping you right now from going off and doing that? Is it that you don't want to abandon her, as you say?
Yeah, I don't want to abandon her. Like I said, she does have suicidal tendencies. The last time I tried to leave her, honestly, she had to go to the hospital and be on a psychiatric hold because, you know, she honestly tried to kill herself. And can I ask you real quick? Have you spoken to a real social worker, therapist about this situation? I'm working on that at the moment. Like I said, I just got into a shelter about a week ago.
Okay.
So right now I'm really trying to focus on myself. She's in the shelter too, but a different one. And honestly, time away has honestly felt good. Like, honestly,
it's felt good for you to be away from her.
Yeah, like honestly, it's like I care about her a lot, and I know she goes through a lot, and like I feel messed up because sometimes like she's calling me because, you know, she wants to speak with me because she's having a hard time at her shelter, or she was having a hard time at the hospital. But there was times where I'm working, or you know, I'm driving to get back to my shelter, or something like that. And
here's the thing, and tell me what you think of this. I'm not telling you to believe anything, but I'd like to hear what you think about this. Because first of all, you should totally see a real social worker, therapist person who's not a gecko about this. They would know more than I do. But my thoughts on something like this, from, you know, when I've talked to people about it before, is like, if you're afraid of abandoning her, right? But if you are unhappy when you're around her, if you, and you said this in your own words, feel like this relationship is toxic and it's not going to work for either of you, it does not serve you. It does not serve her to continue being with her, because ultimately people should be with people who are happy to be around them. So if you're not happy being around her, it doesn't serve her to keep being around her. So just so that she has someone. You know,
Well, the
because
thing is
ultimately,
that-
what we want for her, what we want for you, is both you guys to be with people who you enjoy being around you. That's what I think, and it also just sounds like to me that she needs, genuine psychological, help that you might not be able to provide. And this is really tough. I'm not gonna pretend like I, have remotely any answers to this situation, but I do believe that if you are not enjoying the relationship, it does not help them. It does not help the other person to stay in it, even though on paper maybe it seems like it does. You might not agree with that, but what do you think of it?
No, I do agree with that, and it's just hard, It's like I said, I don't want to like cut her off because like I pay for her phone and everything, and like I'm encouraging her to look for work and stuff like that because she needs to be self-sustainable. I can't provide everything for her, like I want to have a life together with her, and she doesn't want to be like on disability or anything like that, and she has worked throughout our relationship too. It's not like I've been the only provider. It's just been difficult with the pandemic, and it's not like I'm not happy with her, all the time. Like I do love her, and like we have a lot of fun, but there's just times where she's causing a lot of stress. Like I said, throughout the pandemic, I was just trying to keep us basically, off the streets, and there was multiple times where we were just asked to leave because she was making guests uncomfortable and things like that. And
listen, what did you say your name was?
Cadvale. You can call me Vale.
Bale?
Vale.
Vale. That's a cool name. I like that.
Yeah, like it's
is that,
like
is
a
that
pun,
your
like
nickname,
a,
or you just come up with that just now?
No, honestly, it's I kind of use that for like a character. I used to write stories in high school, and it was a character. And it's like a play on words. It's like supposed to be like a veil between worlds, like kind of thing.
Vale, listen. Before we go, I'm just gonna say I think I can tell that you care very much about this person, which is nice. It's good to care. I hope that you find a legitimate mental health counselor to go through this issue with you. And look, man, I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for her. Rooting for the good of humanity. And I appreciate you sharing with us, and I hope you can find some help.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you for listening, and I want to thank everyone else for listening too.
Absolutely.
I just want to say, man, I love your show. I love what you do. Believe it or not, it does help a lot of people. It does help me, even just listening. I found you during the pandemic. I listen to all your podcasts every time they come out, man. And I just want to say, what you do is really helpful. You're not a real therapist. And I know it's like I do need to seek some help, and there's other people that do need to seek help, but you are also a help. There's like a lot of people that call that have stories, or maybe are some embarrassed to share some things with like their general family or people that they're just scared. So and it's the internet, and there's a lot of support out there, and like people like you, and I just want to say that that's amazing.
Thank you, Val, man. I appreciate that. I wish you good luck, and thank you for sharing.
Thank you for answering. You have a wonderful night.
You as well, Val. Val forever.
Call from
Faulkner.
Faulkner, how old are you?
Yo, 31.
Faulkner.
Yes, sir.
Faulkner, is there anything in particular you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, I kind of got a crazy situation. Well, I've been in a long-term relationship. We've been together like 10 years. We got 4 kids together now, 4 girls to be exact.
Beautiful.
And actually, we've lived together for the whole relationship, damn near, except for these last 2 years. And it's been, the last 2 years actually been probably the better years of the relationship. That can be due to a number of things. I've recently gotten sober.
Congrats.
And with that, comes all kinds of better stuff. It's the first time I've been able to hold a house down by myself for the whole 10 years we've been together.
Beautiful.
And I just, after doing this for 2 years, I don't know. I see it hard moving back together. Like I don't know. Every time I go spend the weekend over at her house, or she comes over here, I don't know if it's because of the time spent apart or if anything's changed, like subconsciously or what.
Interesting. So wait a minute. Let me kind of get this straight here. So you are in a long-term relationship, about 10 years. You got 4 kids together.
Yep.
And you used to live together, but now you do not. But you're still together as in a relationship.
Yeah. The
Okay,
last.
so
2
you
years
used to live.
lived
So
together.
let me just get this straight. You used to live together. Why did you stop living together?
It just got pretty rough there for a while. Constant arguing. Couldn't seem to get along for anything.
Interesting. So she moved out.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
And what happened to the kids?
They all live with her. I work like damn near 80 hours a week, so.
All right, so you're working 80 hours a week, but you're financially supporting the kids, and are you financially supporting her as well?
Yeah, I help out.
Okay. And you guys are still together, so she moved out, but she didn't break up with you.
No, that only lasted for like 2 months. We did split up there for a minute, but that was an ongoing thing too, and that has come to an end. We haven't did the whole break up back together thing.
Yeah. So you're back
In the
together.
last 2 years. Yes.
And all right, so you're back together. Are you living
That's-
alone?
Yeah, we both are. I mean, she's got the kids, but I was by
Okay.
myself. She was by herself, and I mean that is the end game. Yeah, that's the goal, is to live back together at some point. But like I said, going back over there, it's just constantly hectic. She's always, arguing with the kids, yelling at the kids.
This is a very interesting situation here because okay, well let me ask you, do you like your girlfriend? Do you enjoy being around her?
I do.
Okay. And it sounds like you mean that. Do you like your children? Do you enjoy being around them?
Unconditionally, yeah. I mean, there's the reasons.
Well, unconditionally, I mean, I don't. Is it unconditionally? Because you sound like if you were to live together, like that, it sounds like under the condition of you guys living together, you're like I don't know if is unhappy the word.
No, not necessarily, but I mean, I don't know. There will be conditions. I guess there just have to be a lot of changes. Like I just can't live around.
What kind of changes?
Constant. And I guess she's gonna want to deal with the kids in a more calmer way. Like can't resort to yelling at them. They do the same thing. The kids are kids. They're gonna yell and be crazy. But she can't resort to doing the same thing.
Is she full? So is it an arrangement where like you're working full time and she's taking care of the kids?
Yeah.
And not working. Okay, word. Interesting. Do you have plans to move back in together?
Yep, that's the goal. Hopefully.
All these things that you're telling her about, like, you know, you shouldn't yell at the kids, and, you know, I wish you would be calmer when you're dealing with the kid. Is this all stuff you've told her before?
Yeah.
And what does she say?
She kind of realizes it, but I think it's just like a stuck in limbo type deal. Like, cause the kids are they're young, they're all under 10. So 2 of them. Well, one's just actually 2 months old now. So 2 of them are around constantly. One actually just got into preschool, so it can be rough, you know. Not having a job, being around young kids like that all day. I understand completely.
Yeah. No, that sounds tough. I mean, well, let me ask you another thing. Have you gone to any sort of counseling or anything like that?
No, not really. That's one thing we haven't done. I haven't
Because
done
I mean, this situation seems like it's one where something like that would work, right? Because I'm getting the sense from both you and your partner that, like, you both genuinely want to make it work, but you have apprehensions about, you know, little particular things.
Yeah.
So I think that could be helpful to do some sort of counseling.
That probably would. And like now that I think about it, we've never tried it since I've been sober. You know what I mean? So.
How long have you been sober for?
Freshly, like a year.
A year? Okay, good. So I mean, look, dude, like the will is there. I hear it in you. Like, you want to be with your kids. You want to be with your partner. You want to make it work. You want to stay sober. You want to do it all. So I mean that's the most important thing, I think. You know, is that you have that will, and I'm hoping that the will is strong enough that, you know, when it comes time to, you know, move back in with your family, I hope that will is alive enough to, like, you know, push you to try to make it work.
Right. I mean, I can't put it all on her. I've got to, you know, deal with it as well, help her with the kids, try to take some of that.
I mean, look, man, it's tough, right? Because, you know, it seems to me like you guys have I mean, again, I don't know the intricacies of your relationship, but it seems to me like you guys have a fairish agreement where, you know, I mean, if you're working 80 hours a week and she's also working, you know, around the clock, taking care of the kids, I mean, that's tough for both of you guys, you know?
Right.
And it seems like you both are pretty respectful of each other's, you know, of each other's sort of respective jobs, you know, of hers being, you know, taking care of the kids and yours being, you know, providing. Would you say that's accurate?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's like the same, you know. He's working 80 hours a week. A job like I'm working, you know, me being a full-time mom, that's...
Yeah.
It's not the same anymore.
Well, listen, what did you say your name was?
Andrew.
Andrew.
Yep.
Well, Andrew, again, good luck to you, man. Congratulations on being a year sober. I don't know you, man, but I get the idea that you want to make this work, and I think you will. I think you will, because I don't know, I just hear it in your voice that you have that will to make it work. And is there anything else that you want to say before we head off?
No, just hell yeah, brother. Keep trucking.
Beautiful. You keep trucking as well, man. Thank you.
Yep.
I like that guy.
Call from
Jason Wong.
Jason Wong?
Yep.
Hey.
Hey.
What are you doing?
Chilling. I'm chilling at home.
That's cool. That's kind of what I'm doing too.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What's crazy about it?
No, dude, I can't believe I'm actually talking to you.
You know, mathematically, it actually makes sense that you're talking to me, because of all the people calling in, one of them had to make it through the phone line.
Yeah, but
so,
dude,
so mathematically, Makes perfect
I
sense.
called like 100 times almost over a
Called
couple
100
weeks.
times. Is there anything in particular that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, actually, I do.
Hit me.
Well, you see, I'm really into tattoos, and I recently got like a really big, really visible tattoo on my arm, and I love it. But why do I get annoyed when people ask me the same questions about it like over and over again? Like, why is that? Like, why does it annoy me so much?
What questions do they ask you?
Well, the first one is always like, I never get annoyed when people tell me like they like it. That's always cool. I always appreciate that. But then they always ask me like, how much does it like cost? Which I never tell them. It's expensive. That's what I say. And then they always ask me like how much it hurts. And then I don't know. I just feel like a robot answering the same questions almost like every day.
Why did you get the tattoo? You said you're just really into tattoos?
Yeah. I mean, my friends and I are all like really into tattoos. So I've been saving up money for a while to get it. So I wanted to get it, and I just got it.
And does it bother you anytime anyone asks you any questions about your tattoos, or just like a certain specific handful of questions bother you?
I don't know, because some days I will answer them like completely fine. Some days I'm gonna be like, man, these people are asking me the same questions all the time. Yeah. And my mom hates
I understand. So you say I'm sorry, what did you just say?
And my mom hates it too.
Your mom hates it. So okay, you said some days you don't mind answering these questions, but then some days you do.
Maybe it's not dependent on my mood.
So you say it's dependent on your mood?
Maybe.
Tell me about the mood you're in when you don't like answering these questions.
When I don't know, like when I'm focused. Usually it's at school, and it's usually like when I'm focused. It always seems like when I'm focused, people bother me.
What are you
Wow.
focusing on?
There's a lot of schoolwork.
I'm
an architecture major, so I got to be like on my grind a lot.
Okay, but so, actually, let's deflect away from the negative here. I'm kind of curious. You say that you have some moods where you don't mind when people are asking you these questions.
Yeah.
What do you feel like? What? Tell me how you feel in these moments where people ask you these questions and they just roll off your back, and you're like, oh yeah, maybe you even take, maybe there are even some moods that you're in where you take delight in answering these questions. What are those moods like?
Dude, that's a deep question. I don't know. Usually when I'm like at work, I'm a bartender also, so it's like it's nice. A lot of old women like it. You get a lot of tips from that.
So you enjoy it as a way of, when you are feeling in a sociable mood, they function as a way to bring people to socialize with you. Is that accurate?
I
Or did
guess.
just make that up?
I guess, but it's not like I'm not like one of those people who like my tattoos are like my personality trait. It's like I just got them because I like them and I appreciate them. But people, I don't know. I guess maybe it's just the way people ask me.
The way they, what do you have to say about the way that they ask you?
Because you can always tell, in my opinion, when they ask me, it's like, they always ask me, like the basic questions, and they ask you, like, what do your parents think about it? And then that's like, that question always makes me feel weird.
But do you detect that there is some kind of shaming on their part in that question, in the tone of voice of that question?
Yes.
Okay. See, okay, and how much of that would you say is the reason why you don't like getting these questions?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about it that much.
Well, I'm glad we're doing that now. I'm glad we're thinking about it. Because I learned this concept from a YouTube video. There's a fucking YouTube channel. I think it's called Charisma on Command. I was watching one of their videos, learned about this beautiful concept that I'm trying to incorporate more in my life. It's called reading positive intent. So, like, if someone asks you a question about your tattoo, and you think maybe they're like there's some like a judgy overtone to it, you don't have to accept that as you don't have to interpret it that way. Even if, and you don't know if that was their intention. You have really kind of no way of knowing if that was their intention. And regardless of whether or not it was their intention, you don't have to interpret it with their intention in mind. You can just interpret it as them having whatever the most genuine intent possible is, right? So if someone asks you that question, like, what do your parents think of your tattoos? And maybe you think that they're doing it in a shameful way. I mean, you could interpret it in any way you desire. You could interpret it as, oh, they're just genuinely curious. Or, oh, they're just trying to make conversation with me. Or maybe they're genuinely concerned. Or, I don't know, there's literally any number of positive ways you could spin it. And then that's kind of your choice, right? Of like how you want to interpret that question. And so if it's up to you, if it's your choice, it would make the most sense if you try to interpret those questions in whatever way makes you the least annoyed. So that way you get to spend less time annoyed. And then you'll probably respond to them a little bit more like positive because you're interpreting them as approaching you positively. And then maybe that'll make them approach you positively even more. Does any of that make any sense?
Yeah, that was pretty. It's pretty crazy to think about.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, next time someone asks you something about your tattoos, regardless of even if it's like so glaringly obvious. And I don't assume it always is, but even if it is glaringly obvious that they are trying to do so in some hostile way, just try interpreting it positively and see what happens. See how they react, see how you feel, if you can.
That's nice to think about.
Is there anything else that you want to talk about or say to the people of the internet before we go?
No, everybody really wants to know what it is, huh? Seems like it. It's basically just like a full Japanese sleeve on my arm. It's like just a bunch of different Asian shit, I guess.
Sounds pretty,
But yeah, it's just
cool.
like really like dark and black. So that's why people like ask a lot of questions about it.
What'd you say your name was?
Jason.
Jason, Geck bless you. Thank you for calling.
Therapy Gecko's on the line, taking your phone calls every night. Therapy Gecko's doing it right, he's teaching you how to live your life, but he's not